Now it's time for the throw punch!
The State of the Union is lame, and that's why you're spending State of the Union with Angie Nixon, our guest, myself, Big Sarge, Drill Sergeant Doug, and Admin Matt. One of these directions here.
I'm somewhere.
Angie, thank you so much for joining us. There's a million other things you could be doing because you have a very important race, and you probably could be watching, State of the Union and pulling your hair out like some of us probably would otherwise be doing, or the alternate states of union, people's whatever's.
Is there alternate states of unions happening? Is this a thing?
Yeah, there was just like some people's state. I don't know, some group called like Midas Bunch or something. I don't know.
Gotcha. I was thinking like alternative facts, but go ahead, continue.
I'm going to let our guest introduce herself because if I do it, it's going to be like this big fangirl squeak kind of thing because I have Angie Nixon's book.
Ooh.
Actually, it's like a two-parter, but I'm going to let her talk about herself because who knows better than Angie.
Hey everyone, I am super excited to be with you today. I am State Representative Angie Nixon, hailing all the way from Jacksonville, Florida. First of all, I want to apologize. I am sitting in my car. I just left a campaign rally in Tallahassee with some college students. And so, I wanted to make sure I spent some time with you all today. So a little bit about myself, born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. I've been a state legislator for the past 6 years. This is my third term. I'm actually a community organizer. I am a small business owner. They started banning books and the teaching of true African American history in Tallahassee, here in the state capital. And so I decided to open up a banned bookstore, which serves as a community hub and a coffee shop and cafe where we actually do things like give away free Plan B. We have mental health workshops, and it's just a cool third space that's a safe space for the community. I am a mother, a wife, a mother of five. Yes, I said five. Me and my husband, we have a blended family, and so y'all should see our house. Jared, please knock that stuff out for me since I'm in Tallahassee for legislative session. But I am also a union member. I've been a union member. I worked for a union, SEIU. I am a union baby. My mom was a member of CWA. And I am just someone who is unapologetic in fighting for hardworking people. I honestly believe that we need to start doing things a lot differently here in our country. Instead of looking out for these really greedy billionaires and corrupt corporations, I honestly believe that hardworking people should get to shape their communities and their economies. And if we do that, then
lost audio. We lost audio.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
There you
Now
go.
we got
We hear
you.
you now.
Okay, sorry about that. But I've been organizing in the state and the community for over a decade now, and I'm excited to take my my fighting spirit as well as my passionate spirit to Washington D.C.
Excellent.
Outstanding.
Outstanding is the exact word I was going to use.
Yeah. So I have been trying to get Angie on the live stream through various internet shenanigans, like commenting on Facebook posts and things like that. And I have to give a shout out to Katie from 50501 Veterans, who finally
Yes.
managed to make things happen for us. And I was so overjoyed because I have your book. And the reason that I have your book, can you tell people about the book? And so I don't
Yeah. For sure. So I was a previous single mom, and I had a daughter named Natalie. And around the age of 7, Natalie was suffering from self-esteem. She didn't like her natural hair. She didn't like her skin color. And she also did not like to read. And so I tried to figure out what to do to help encourage her, as well as to get her to read more books. And so I thought about it. She always wore Afro puffs. And so I let her know, I said, hey, what do you think about us making you into a superhero? And she was like, oh my gosh, that would be cool, Mom. And I said, yeah, like let's write a comic book together, and we can make your Afro puffs your superpowers. And so they became Fire and Ice. And she was like, yeah, Mom, let's do it. And so I said, okay, but one condition. You have to read more books so you can learn more words. I was like, no one wants to read a book that's the same words over and over again. And so she agreed to read more books. And so then we would sit every day she got out of school. We would sit on the bed and we would type up this book together and just bounce ideas off of each other. And so we created a 2-part series called The Adventures of Moxie McGriff. And it is about a little girl who gets superpowers after using some special shampoo from her godmother, and she is able to defeat the monsters, the book-eating monsters, from eating the libraries because they wanted to make all the kids dumb. And so we actually won an event in Jacksonville, Florida called One Spark. And from that, we started traveling across the country. We went all the way to Alaska, to California, to New York, Virginia, like all over the country, promoting literacy as well as self-love. And we were able it was just really cool to see little Black kids running up to our banners because they saw a superhero that looked like them and that was their age. And we actually got some children to start reading more and also starting to write books. So it was really great.
That's
Excellent.
awesome.
I love
Go
that.
ahead.
I came across the book because my youngest son is half white, half Asian, and when he was starting school, we were living in Georgia, in a very kind of affluent area, was where he ended up going to a private school, and the kids made fun of him because he's like Asian but with ginger hair. And we let it grow out because his mom didn't want to cut it. And I was looking for some way to kind of explain to him about being biracial, and the only thing that I found at first was a Starburst commercial about the Scottish Korean, which is actually what he is. And it was a silly skit that they did. And I was like, he's not going to understand this at all. And so I was looking for books, and that's the first thing that popped up. And I was like, okay, well, this is going to work. So it was the best option. And so I picked it up, and it was a smash hit. So that's my connection to the book.
That's awesome. There's also a kids show. I can't remember if it's on what it's on. Uh, there's a cartoon that is this same kind of premise. The hair, super hair, and I was wondering, like, did you sell your story to Nickelodeon or
No,
something?
we actually tried to shop it around because we created the book. It came out in 2015, so it's 11 years.
Somebody stole it.
So
I'm for real.
you
Somebody
know,
stole your stuff because it's the exact. It's so close, except for the library part. But the monsters, the afro, the shampoo, there was somebody stole your stuff.
wait a minute, you need to send that to me so I can check that out.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
You need
we
to
do
get
have a copyright on that. And
Guaranteed. So I will definitely check that out, and we will get that to you because that is too that's too on the nose. I was like, oh man, this is the person who made that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took liberties with that. All right, I'm sorry. Back to normal questions there. So I'll let you go because I know you wanted to have her on for so long. So you got this one, Big Sarge.
Yeah, y'all can step up. I'm still getting over a cold, so I'm over here like hacking stuff up and muting the mic and everything. So,
Well, I have a quick question, and it's rooted in the I don't live in Florida, but you heard so much since the primary season for last election. DeSantis started rolling out every single possible racist thing he could do in order to galvanize a base that could vote for him, and that's just a sad state of Republican politics. That's the type of thing you have to do in order to galvanize a base.
yeah.
How bad is it really? Because there's stories that go from they teach that that slavery somehow was a good thing for some black folks, all the way to just straight up getting rid of the library or the black class altogether in certain colleges and universities. Can you give me a on the ground description of what is that really like now?
Yeah, for sure. So I think it's important to note that what you hear is true, right? A lot of things, a lot of harsh things that happen across the state and across the country and everything, and that's starting to bubble up in DC. A lot of it has originated out of Florida and the deep South, right? And so cruelty is the point here. They have used Florida as a testing ground, and we managed down here to still kind of survive it, right? Like even throughout the attacks, throughout the voter suppression, throughout the anti-woke stuff originated in Florida, which turned into the anti-DEI stuff.
Yes.
Right. Even them basically starting the corporate schools that are taking up all of the all of the public money, like that's originated here. And so it's all the bad things, right? And so yes, it's true, but even still, like movement has been on the ground, pushing back, doing the work, helping to try to inform us as lawmakers, right, to make bad bills less bad. And I want to be clear, right? So I am a legislator, but I come from movement. I come from unions. I come from organizing, community organizing, right? And so those community groups and organizers, because unfortunately our party infrastructure is not as strong as we need it to be, like those groups, those community organizing groups have been on the ground doing the work, right? Like standing up against the attacks. It's been a lot, but even still, like now we are managing to turn things around, right? Like we work to elect a progressive mayor down in Miami, in the city of Miami. We've started flipping some seats here across the state. And so we just need people to stop turning their backs on Florida. Don't continue to divest in the state. It was so frustrating because we came so close in 2018 to electing a very progressive governor by electing a man by the name of Andrew Gillum. It was Mayor Andrew Gillum from Tallahassee. And so instead of leaning in, right? Instead of leaning in, the Democrats, all the money, they divested and just turned away, right? And that is why, we have Ron DeSantis, and it kind of just emboldened him, and they were able to win seats because people really turned their backs on Florida. But like I said, the movement groups, the Florida Risings, the SEIU, the unions, SEIU, Florida Immigrant Coalition, Faith in Florida, Central Florida Jobs with Justice. All these groups really worked together with other progressive groups across the state and started standing up infrastructure to help, combat Equality Florida, to help fight back attacks on school boards, to educate people. And it's I am proof positive that when you invest in your volunteers and your leaders, you can actually start electing people who are not beholden to big corporations, who are not beholden to, corrupt billionaires, right? And who are actually beholden to people, and they will run legislation that is supportive of hardworking people. I am someone who has always stood up and pushed back and never wavered, even when it was not politically expedient for me, right? I was able to, when Ron DeSantis unconstitutionally drew maps to get rid of Black congressional districts, myself and Representative Travaris McCurdy, we were the two lawmakers that led, and then we had more of our colleagues join the peaceful protest and sit-in that actually stopped the House business for over an hour, right? And we did that because we knew he was breaking the law, right? And so we knew he was breaking the law and going against the Constitution. And so I also, I called for a ceasefire early on when it wasn't popular, to the point where I had my fellow colleagues calling me a terrorist and anti-Semitic and ignorant and things like that. But I didn't care, because what good does it do for me to be a lawmaker and I can't stand up for people that are being harmed, when I'm in office? That doesn't make any sense to me. I should be about the business of the people and not be about the business of ego and myself and trying to map out my next trajectory, right? Trying to figure out what's my next move. Where can I get to a higher office? No. I have always put the people of the state of Florida in the forefront of my mind. Like I told y'all, I have 5 kids. Between me and my husband, we have 5 kids. And I'll be damned if I allow this greedy ass billionaire, Donald Trump, to basically grift his way throughout his presidency, to lie, to cheat, to steal, to harm people without a fight. And not only that, there are seniors right now who have worked their entire lives and they can't get the just due rest that they deserve, because we have these corporations that want to exploit workers, that want to end Social Security and end things like the Affordable Care Act, because they want people to have to work for them at very low wages so that they can make more money on top of more money on top of more money. If we start electing people who come from the community, people who understand what it's like to walk outside your house and look in your driveway and you see that your car done got repossessed because you had to make a decision like me between making sure that my asthmatic child had her inhaler and that I was able to keep a roof over her head, right? Like that has happened to me. If we were starting to elect people who know what it's like when your heat breaks down and you got to open up your oven to warm part of your home, right? Instead of electing people or who are only going to look out for billionaires who throw $50 million weddings. Meanwhile, we got people living on the streets who are now potentially going to go to jail because they can't afford to keep a roof over their head. Like, that's absolutely ludicrous and unacceptable. And I refuse to keep business as usual and the status quo going on without a fight. And so that's why I'm running for United States Senate. And I honestly know that we can win. I know people are asking, like, there's a question about my viability. I am the only person that has unseated an incumbent in my primary. I actually had a campaign kickoff about a month ago where I had 500 people show up to a rally, and some of which were white Republican men that came and said that they were gonna change their party during the primary to vote for me, and they've actually started volunteering on, wanting to volunteer on the campaign. And so that is what it's about. It's actually about letting people know that you are going to speak to their issues. You're also going to show up for them. You're going to be accessible, which a lot of my colleagues aren't, and a lot of my colleagues on the federal level, i.e. Ashley Moody, I'm legit already doing the job of a U.S. Senator, because I have people calling me and sending me emails who reach out to Ashley Moody and she's nowhere to be found. She doesn't respond to anything, and she's only carrying the water of Donald Trump. And so, I am someone who is battle tested, someone who's not going to waver, and someone who's going to be about people.
So that's actually a great point for us to pivot slightly into kind of looking ahead here. Obviously, as a member of the Senate, you are one of the smallest groups of legislatures for a deciding body, and thus you hold a lot of power in that. What to you are your biggest legislative priorities?
Yeah, for sure.
Florida and for the country.
So definitely, I would say number one would have to be healthcare. And the reason it has to be healthcare is because the number one reason folks go into bankruptcy is due to medical debt. That is mind-blowing for me. Everyone should be upset about that. And I just feel that people's healthcare should not be tied to whether or not a company or a corporation wants to keep that person employed or not. And so we really need to make a push to actually figure out a way in which we can get to universal health care. And look, I understand how, how legislating works, right? And government works. It's slow. And so I think the first step to moving towards universal health care, right, is like, first of all, we got to come back and extend the ACA credits and have them open enrollment again, right? Number one. And then we have to really work to reform the ACA, right? Like, Obamacare was great, but there's still a lot of stuff that was missing and, did not work. And then we get to the business of like really doing the research and figuring out ways in which we can get the funding so that we can push towards universal health care, right? Think about it. Like, I'm a small business owner, right? And so I know small businesses help the economy. And so if they did not have to worry about footing the cost of healthcare, they would employ probably a lot more people. And so that would be great. So I really think that we need to make sure that we're pushing towards universal healthcare in our country. The next thing, I am a mom of a 5-year-old, and she is still in early childhood education daycare. Daycare is expensive. Early childhood education is expensive. I'm
Right.
paying $1,000 a month, and that's with me getting a good discount, right? I know some people that are paying like $2,400 a month for their child, for one child, and I believe we need early childhood education. We need universal early childhood education, or to at least cap childcare costs at $10 a day. So the federal government does need to subsidize childcare to make sure that these, number one, we are allowing parents to get back to work. Okay, to put more money in the economy, right? To fill these jobs openings that they always say they have, right? And then we'll make sure that our children start ahead of the game, right? Too often we see that children are entering into kindergarten and first grade behind, and if they were able to go to a quality earlyhood child care facility, they would be able to get, the education and learn the words that they need on time or ahead of time, right? And so wanting to push for that. And I also want to push towards ensuring that we're looking at least at a minimum of 2-year college and vocational programs, making sure those are free or that there are some subsidies for that, right? Some people ain't gonna go to college. I get it, right? So like we need to make sure we're allowing folks the opportunity to get a trade, be that being, HVAC, plumbing, even some type of technical like IT, some type of trade, some type of certification. And so that is like people getting educated and becoming productive citizens, right? That is going to help our economy even more, right? And so those are like my main 2 priorities, so healthcare and education. And I think if we do that, we can actually make our country a better place to be. And also, I want to put out there, my dad. First of all, thank you, veterans, for your service. My dad is was a sergeant in the Army, and so I understand the need to ensure that our veterans have wraparound services, and we are fully funding the VA so that we can actually make sure that they have proper staffing. In addition to wanting to make sure that they have adequate mental health resources for veterans. Also looking at not just temporary housing for veterans, but permanent, stable housing for veterans with wraparound services, which is something that my dad and many of his Army brothers and sisters would need. And then also making sure that we are funding proven programs that help with mental health. Too many times I see veterans that are living on the streets, veterans that are walking down the street, that just have kind of been thrown away. They paid their debt, they gave their lives for this country, and the government has turned their back on them, and we can't do that for people who put their lives on the line for us. So those would be the main things I would say.
Well, it's definitely a good start there.
Outstanding.
Sorry, Doug, did you have something there?
I was going to ask something, but I'll wait till after you ask something.
Oh, no, go ahead. I just had one.
All right. So I was going to say that, we're very courteous here, right? No, you first. You first. You first.
We're like Canadians.
We're Canadian. So
Sorry, Harry.
So what I was going to say is, you obviously can speak for yourself, and I think anybody who hears you for over 5 minutes realizes that you know what's going on, and you're obviously the person to vote for. I'm just going to say that up front. I'm not bound by any journalistic ethics that can't say that.
Clearly.
Honestly, let's just be real. On the other hand, because you're so good at doing that, I want to push back. I want to give you something to say, to fight against, and that would be, I'm used to seeing people leaving these places where they're needed, where they're protesting, where if they're gone, that one law that they stopped might be the one that comes into place. Where you are now, you seem to be doing really, really good work. You seem to be stopping the worst, leading the charge of stopping some of the worst impulses of your ridiculous KKK governor. Now, when you leave there, have you groomed someone? Do you have a protege? Is there people in place? Is there a system to not leave such a seat vacant and to the whims of these horrendous folks so that you can go to the Senate? Have you prepared for that? I wish I see more people doing that.
Yeah, for sure. So we've definitely.
And there's a second piece. There's a second piece. After that, do you think you can do more good for your place, for your city, for your state, in the Senate or where you are? How are you going to do more? How could you do more good where you're going than where you are? Sorry,
for sure. Yeah, no, so I appreciate that perspective and that question. And so, yes, we have been mentoring people. I am super excited that an organizer is looking to join the fight in Tallahassee. I am not going to say the name right now until they are officially announced, right? So super excited about that, right? And also, like, I think it's really important to let your viewers know that I also previously served as the executive director of a statewide organization called Florida for All. And so we have been working, we are a statewide coalition with a lot of groups that work in marginalized communities that work to uplift and educate and build power. And so we have been mentoring folks and getting folks in place in regards to that. And so, yes, we are doing that, right? And so the reason, to your second point, the reason that I feel I would be so helpful and it'll be more beneficial for me to go to Washington, D.C. is we need to shake things up a bit, right? Honestly, the Senate, we need more senators with more backbone, right? And so I think I have proven that I cannot be bought. I think I have proven that I am people over politics. I am people over profit. I am also people over party. I am sorry, my lights are going out. And so I think it's important to let folks know that. And so I have also at times on against you know, my Democratic leadership, and I do that when they are not standing up for the people, right? And so, you know, I know how to be a team player, but I cannot compromise my values and the values of my people. And so I am not a corporate dim. I am someone who won't take PAC money. I don't even think the corporate PAC money, I don't even think they're gonna offer it to me, to be honest with you. And so, as a matter of fact, you know, the chamber low-key hates me. Maybe not even low-key, probably high-key hates me. And so I just, you know, we're dealing with a guy that is trying to set himself up to steal an election. We're dealing with someone who said there may not even be a need for an election. We're dealing with someone who is more concerned with enhancing and growing the bank accounts of his family and his friends and himself. Look, let me tell you how Donald Trump operates and why. If the House votes to impeach and I am in the Senate, I will vote to remove, and then I will try to push and make sure that he is prosecuted and convicted of all his crimes. This guy, he is holding hostage funding, federal funding for airports and different places so that he can get his name on the airports, i.e. Palm Beach Airport. And then
wow,
this mofo, right? He decided to trademark his name so that he can get paid. to have when people put his name on governmental buildings, he will be able to get paid for that, right? Like he trademarked this 3 days before we voted on the House floor. Imagine, what does that say about us as a country, that we have an adjudicated rapist, that we are allowing them to put his name on buildings? Like, that's a slap in the face to people who are survivors. And so I'm sorry, but I got 4 girls and I refuse to not go up there and to work to get him removed and convicted.
Oh my God, bro. So he is trying in every state then. So I didn't know he was going for was it Palm Beach Airport?
Well, it's
Right. And it's one in DC, Dulles, right? He's trying to change Dulles from what I heard.
Well, he was asking for Dulles, and he was asking for Penn Station in New York City to be renamed as a condition of releasing the funds for the tunnel infrastructure project linking New Jersey and New York, which as soon as word broke about that, he suddenly pivoted to the Palm Springs Airport in Florida, because the state legislature was poised to, rename that for him. But he had, to your point, he had taken out and trademarked Donald Trump International Airport. He had a whole line of like luggage and other like he's put out just in case there happened to be an airport named after him. Just in case that happened to happen, he's got all this merch and luggage and all this other shit that's going to go to make him a little more money.
I feel like throwing up.
It is truly.
He's selling our country. Like, he's selling our country.
It's for the people who screamed that Hunter Biden probably got paid because of what his last name was. Meanwhile, they're happy to blatantly loot the public coffers of billions of dollars.
Don't do that, man. Why you want the knife hand to come out? Why you gonna piss me off like that? You want him looking for a rant, aren't you? You're looking for the rant. You're looking for the rant. I'm not doing it. I'm not falling for
model for the Trump class battleship nonsense that he wants to have the Navy build. Nobody wants to build these things, but he has ordered this to be done and named after him.
The Trump class battleship. Well, first of all, let's just say what it is. It is a replacement for his penis size. This is what that is. That's all it is. That's all of this is. And just like his penis size and his actual thing, it doesn't work. The actual Trump battleship it doesn't work. It's inadequate, is what it is. It doesn't have the weaponry necessary to accomplish the task. Just like him. So everything he does, this whole false bravado, this whole put my name on everything and then I'll charge for it, is him trying to still please the father who knew that he was never good enough, and the women who knew that he never had enough, and hopefully make him feel good before he dies. I'm here to say I hope that he dies understanding that he was the smallest person Melania has ever slept with.
And Drill Sarge, this morning, Trump said that he should award himself the Congressional Medal of Honor.
How big is it? Not big enough, Trump. It's not big enough. Now, I'm sorry about that, Angie. I do apologize for. I told you he went. You know what I mean? I didn't want the knife hand to come out.
Sometimes we're gonna rile Drill Sarge up a little bit.
I apologize. I do have one question for you. All of those things may seem untoward. This may be more up your and our alley. Is Byron Donald black? Okay, appreciate it. I was just wondering. Outstanding. When Yeah, go ahead.
I
Go
didn't
ahead.
say anything. I just looked.
No, I feel you. That's all I needed. That's all I know. I was just wondering.
I just, I cannot get down with someone who says daddy's home. Like
That's
you're a
all
grown
I'm wondering.
man saying
I'm just trying to
daddy's home.
figure it out.
That was really kind of
That
caught
is-
me off guard,
That is a truckload of psychological issues on display right there.
I mean, that is what he said after Donald Trump got elected. It's so funny because Byron Donalds, he was a former state rep. And I've seen him in person a few times, but he's came to speak with me and Rep. Askamani once while he's former representatives are allowed to come on the House floor. And so he spoke to us one time and we kind of giggled and we're so started trying to ask questions about Donald Trump. It was funny. But then when he thought that I was going to be running for governor, the next time he came, he just basically totally ignored. It was just weird. I was right next to Rep. Escamani and he was just really actively trying to ignore me. So it was funny. But I think his wife should figure out apparently she had people pull their children out of school so that they can go to a charter school that was never built or something. And so he's got some issues coming up,
Did he wear tap dancing shoes?
He is someone who I think I have a problem with someone who got in trouble and was arrested and all types of stuff, but don't want to give people the same type of grace that he received.
There we go.
That is.
There we go. There we go.
I don't understand that.
No, that's it. That's the one right there. That's the one. That's when you.
Yeah, he believes in second chances for himself, but not for other people. He wants to seem as though he's about this law and order stuff, but I heard he was one of the biggest scammers in Tallahassee when he went to school here.
Is that the case? All right. Well, I was wondering how silver the bottom of his shoes were, and now I see that they are reflective. So, I was just wondering. Now, I appreciate your grace with which you handle this, and that lets us know that you belong in a position where you're headed. Definitely, because I don't have that amount, but well said, and that is the point. When these things come up, the second chances, knowing his criminal background, knowing the second chances that he got, it comes down to, will you enjoy the house more than your people? And I feel like he has found the house more comfortable, and it's unfortunate. And I can't wait to see people like you help to represent us up there in Washington. And I'll just leave it there. So, Big Sarge.
So what's the timeline like here? You're running for the seat that was vacated by Marco Rubio. So there's a special election.
Correct.
What does that timeline look like for you?
Yeah, so it is going to be the same timeline as the other races in the state of Florida. We have a primary August 18th, and then the general election is going to be Tuesday, November 3rd. And so I am asking folks to spread the news, the good news about me, let people know that I am actually running. Also to volunteer, and also we need your money. Again, I am not the typical establishment candidate. I am someone who just does not fit. I'm gonna be truthful, the regular Democratic, mold of what they feel should be a person who would be a U.S. senator here in the state of Florida. But there was a community organizer that made his way to the top before, and I have what it takes. And again, I am someone who has unseated an incumbent before. I am someone who ran 7 months pregnant when I first ran and unseated that incumbent, wind up getting COVID and was still running for office and, you know, really campaigning hard because I really care about the future of Florida and the future of this country. I really want people to realize that we deserve so much more in this country. We really deserve people who are really going to be honest and who are going to be transparent, who are going to be ethical. You know, people can make mistakes, but but we really need people who are honest and really have good moral values. And yes, I am a fighter, but I'm also someone who believes in leading with compassion and leading with grace. And I want to invite people to really think about building a new vision and like thinking about dreaming big, right? Because honestly, we're living in someone else's dreams. We're living in that top 1%, maybe it's like top 1.5% now, right? We're living in their dream. And for many of us, it's a nightmare. But it's really should be really upsetting that there is so much wealth at the top, like the top 3 billionaires, like own the majority and like they make more money than like I was seeing like a whole lot of the working class. Like that is crazy. And these folks have convinced us that if we just want to take a break or take a vacation that we being lazy. Like that's crazy to me. Like we deserve to be healthy, to be prosperous, to be safe, to experience rest, to experience joy. And if we honestly just start electing hardworking people who look like the community, the entire country, and not just the top 1%, right? Or aren't just beholden to them, I think that our country would be totally different. We would actually pass policies that benefit everyone, not just a select few. Like that is attainable here. I need people to know like that we can actually make that happen, but they just have to believe and they have to put in the work and they have to stop allowing people to divide us because division is profitable. These people are it makes no sense to me how many of us are still struggling and trying to gather our footing since COVID. But these big corporations were making record profits during a pandemic. And people have not been able, hardworking people have not been able to get back to where they used to be. And so that clearly shows us and illustrates that there are some intense market failures. And I want to be real about this. The market ain't free right now. There's not a free market here in this country. The market here in this country is run by Amazon and the Jeff Bezos and the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world. The market ain't free. They got the thing. It is rigged. If you really do your research and digging, like Amazon owns so much stuff, a bunch of the cloud services and just all types of stuff. They have a monopoly, right? They are the ones that are pushing these horrible bills. And so if we start electing people who are not beholden to them, who are unafraid to vote against them, we will start changing this country for the better. And I am that candidate to help do that.
I think that might dovetail well into the next question I actually have, which is how do you appeal to those who might not support you at the moment, who might be, maybe they're not, hard aligned to say, Trump and the MAGA movement, but they're definitely not Dems. Or they're fed up with the Dem party, or
ask her how she swayed over the white conservative.
That would be a good place to start.
So I I would say
whatever that was.
Yeah.
Say that
So
again.
I would say meeting people where they are and talking about the issues and actually like listening to people. I have never ran a bill that was not brought to me. I only file legislation that comes from hardworking people. And so I think it's really important to listen to people. I'm a community organizer. I know the importance of listening and figuring out what it is that people need and what they want and their aspirations, right? And really working to address those issues and going just really have to go meet people where they are and have conversations with people. And so that's what I plan on doing. And I'll never forget, I had these Awake the State meetings that I started when I was just going across the state, talking to people and just really listening. I was on a listening tour and I talked in Putnam County. And there was this big, scruffy white dude that came. He had a bald head. He had on a baseball hat. He had a large beard. And after I had spoke, he came up to me. And I was like, I was in my head. I was like, oh, shoot, he about to go off on me. And he threw his hand out and he said, I just want to say, I like what you said. You weren't preachy and you really had something to say. And I appreciate you. And you got my vote. And so I was like, yes. And he was a Republican. And so it's just like, because I just really care about people. And so, I love this state. And I love this country, but I am critical of it because I know that it could be better and that it is leaving a lot of people behind. And so I am willing to put in the work for it too, though. I'm not someone who's just going to talk about it and just talk. Like I'm actually like having conversations with people, coming up with ideas with people, trying to figure out ways in which how we can calm the rhetoric down. Because if we want to win people over, right, like we got to call people in, not call them out. Now, let's be clear, like the straight foolish racist, like there are some people that we just got to let go. Yes, call them out. I tend to just call out legislators, right? But I really believe that, like, again, we all want the same thing. Everybody wants to be healthy, prosperous, and safe, right? And we all deserve that. And so when you really start having conversations with people about what it is that they want and what they desire, folks realize we want the same things and that like there is a way in which we can work together to actually accomplish it. But of course, we got to get big business out of government and actually start electing people again that put people over profits. And that's how I would win Republicans and MPAs.
I think it's a pretty solid approach. Like you said, at the end of the day, everyone just wants to be happy, healthy, and have a chance to prosper in this country, regardless of politics. And that's certainly not a message you're going to hear from the other side.
Yeah. Go ahead, sir. Okay.
I was just going to say tacos.
Tacos. So there is a theme that you said your first major issue is healthcare. About a month ago, on what is that, Channel 4 over there, out there, and you were also interviewed on the news, and the first thing was people are paying too much for healthcare. This isn't something that we are just finding out. This has been something that you've been pushing since you started, is where I'm going with that. Also knowing that you came from, and you're coming from a state where, what's his name? Tim Scott, whatever his name is,
Rick Scott created the fraud, stole all that money.
All of the fraud. Mm-hmm. You're coming from the state where the same person who's the attorney general now was doing everything for money and corporations, especially those in healthcare. I don't know that much, But I know when you follow the money, there is a very big pile of it at the feet of healthcare and the industries that surround it in Florida. Have they taken notice of your campaign, your constant barrage of truth, and has it adversely affect your coffers?
So I would say yes. And then I would say they have taken notice. I would say that the Republican Party is really fearful of me because they do recognize that I can build a complex coalition of people from all walks of life and who cross party lines, right? And it was quite funny how when I rolled out, like they started sending out fundraising emails about me. And so let me tell you, when I first came to the House, I talked to House leadership and I said, how can I be successful in this process? And they told me that I need to decide whether or not I want to be an advocate or if I want to bring money home.
Yeah.
And I said, well, wait a minute. I should be able to do both because that is what being a lawmaker and a legislator is about. You're advocating for your community and you're bringing money home and you're passing bills. They told me, I'm not that. Do I think I'm the smartest bunch, the smartest person to ever come there? And did I think I was ever going to? Who do I think I am? Because I thought I was going to come there and change the game. That's the way the game should be played. And so I made the decision then and there because I realized they didn't want me to be vocal because they didn't want me to wake people up. Like that is why there is an attack on woke, because these people who are these corrupt politicians who are in power and who are in bed with these greedy ass corporations.
I need to clarify. This is the Democratic Party you're talking about that you went to ask.
No, this is the Republican. These are the Republicans.
Okay, all right. Continue on. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Continue on. I just wanted. It was important to make sure, like, if you were talking to your party and that's what they told you, or if this is, that's what I needed to clarify. You can continue on. Greedy people in bed with companies. Let's go.
Let me. Can y'all hear me?
Do we lose?
I'm gonna log off and rejoin. Give me 1 second.
Look what you did, Doug.
Hey, I had to clear that up. We need to. That's a very big difference. I was like, wait a minute. You talked to your party head, and they told you, "Who do you think you are? You're gonna play the game." Now, I would believe it from either one, but I just wanted to. That's important to know which one she was talking to when they said that.
As Eljo said, it was the knife hands.
The knife hand always does it.
It is.
Now
I'm just going to have to Raul
there's not enough RAM on this Mac to handle the knife hand in full force.
Using a Mac, there's the problem right there.
Yeah. I need way more RAM. I need way more disk space. And I need an HD camera. The 720 stuff, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah, you think we've got the budget for that, Big Sarge?
Budget.
Can y'all hear
me?
That? I hear you.
And
okay.
Angie, we can hear you.
Okay. So no, these were the Republican, those were the Republican lawmakers, the Republican leadership, specifically, majority leader, actually. That is what he stated to me. And it's because, they don't want people to know what's happening. And so that is why there's been an attack on woke. They don't want folks to wake up and to hear and to know what's going on. And so it's really important for us to realize our power and how, like, that's what these corporations and these corrupt politicians really want. They want people to not know what's happening and to assume they're doing an okay job, or to assume that they are struggling due to the fault of themselves. And when in reality, like, the system is rigged. like it's rigged against us.
Uh-huh.
And so, I'm just trying to highlight that and uplift that and like really change the narrative around everything.
Awesome.
So, since you've laid out healthcare as one of the priorities you'd have there, and obviously it's a major root in both the financial affairs of most Americans as well as the affordability crisis that most of us are facing, a fairly common talking point that you'll probably be seeing or you may be attacked on is that the healthcare industry in the United States represents between 20 and 24% of the economy, based on what you count as being part of it, whether suppliers and manufacturers versus pharmaceuticals versus hospitals. Just tearing all of that out obviously would represent a tremendous economic issue. What would be your counter to that as part of a plan that you would put forth, in addition to what you've laid out here as far as strengthening the ACA and making the public option an affordable option eventually? What else would you, how would you deal with this potential economic collision with so much of the U.S. economy now tied up in this private healthcare market, unfortunately?
Yeah, for sure. So can you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think it's really important to know that there are there's a lot of holes around like different types of jobs and things that folks need. So like we have a mass exodus of teachers, right? So like we really need to try to get more teachers. And so if we are strengthening our public education and making sure that people have access to early childhood education through to college and things like that, we can make sure that we are recruiting and training more educators. We also have massive gaps as it relates to healthcare providers, right? Like America is a country filled with people who are dealing with trauma and mental health issues. And so if we were able to start doing things like Ron DeSantis does, in which how he tries to really like attract people to come into law enforcement, the same way like they're trying to attract people to become ICE officers, right? Like if we look at what we need here in this country, which is more healthcare providers, right, more educators, we need more folks in the trades, right? Like if we are really putting more resources into building those industries, and also especially the technology industry, but make sure we have regulations, AI and data centers, right? But like if we do that,
We're losing your audio. You hear us, Angie?
Can you hear? Yeah, you're cutting in and out pretty badly. As the light has diminished in your car, so has the sound. Oh yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, I've got nothing.
Got nothing. So
she's been in the car an hour, so it might have, like if she had earbuds in, her battery might have died.
Yeah, that did sound like a battery issue. So wait a minute. I'd like to know while we're waiting on her to come back, what y'all think about this here. Hold on. Hopefully I can get it quickly. No, it'll be quick. He said, "Oh boy."
Here we go.
Have y'all heard the story? Yeah, I'm sure everybody's seen the story.
Yeah.
Comments.
So unfortunate. It was such a great showing for U.S. hockey men and women, and then to have Trump and his cronies insert themselves into it is just so disappointing. Oh, do we have her back?
Yep, we got her back. I'll remove the unseen.
The audio is still really crackly.
Yeah, we've got picture, but we don't have audio.
I'm gonna try to move. Can you hear me?
I heard slightly you're moving.
So again, I apologize. I'm outside this rally, so I wanted to make sure that. Can you hear me now?
Not well enough.
You're just
Yeah,
at the edge, like you're several rooms away.
Let's not encourage her to like chat and drive at the same time.
No.
Yeah,
people
drive. Do that.
Live and drive.
So I did a little live earlier, and it was meant to be funny and last like exactly 1 minute. I was going to say the State of the Union. I wanted to give everything that people needed to know before they watched it, and all I was going to say was everything you need to know is Trump is not a reliable source of information. He is a con artist and a liar, and he's been stealing money since he got there. And that's everything. He's not a reliable source of information. The only thing you can do by watching the State of the Union tonight is play bingo, have fun, get a lot of drinks. If you're there for information, you're in the wrong place. And then I went in to say, the state of our social union is pictured here. Him laughing at somebody and at a different group, at women, after getting the gold.
The guest is back.
Yeah. Hold on. Here we go. I apologize. Remove. Here we go.
I apologize for the technical difficulties, y'all. Like I said, I wanted to be here for the college students, and then I also wanted to make sure that I joined your show. But as I was saying earlier, there are a lot of vacancies and needs in several industries, and so I think it's really important for us to work to recruit in those industries, and that could actually help shift some potential job losses from, you know, the healthcare industry to other areas.
All right, excellent. Like I said, that's a common point that I see pushback from the other side of the aisle on the push towards universal health care. I say, oh, wait, but all the jobs you're going to destroy in the health insurance industry. And I think, you know, retraining and having people move into areas that we need, I think that's a brilliant solution.
And you know, also, like, you're still going to need a lot of those jobs, right? Because you have to pay out things. So yeah, it can be done, right?
And I do think also a lot of people seem to overlook the fact that even in a universal healthcare system, that there's still going to be room for a private sector of medical insurance for those who can afford the, you know, super premium, zero weight. You know, if they've got the money to pay for it, hey, it's America, right? You know, there's going to be a market for it. Even if there is universal health care and everybody does get the base level of coverage. So I don't think there's any real scenario outside of this, you know, GOP dystopian nightmare they try to conjure up every time it gets mentioned, where there would actually be no private health insurance as well. We just wouldn't be, you know, beholden to it for our very lives by having to, you know, get it through our jobs and whatnot.
Should we abolish ICE?
So I think it's really, I really want to highlight that I filed legislation back in November here in the state of Florida to actually, it's called the Visible Act with Senator Carlos Guillermo Smith. I wanted to unmask ICE. I also wanted to ensure that they had their names visibly on their uniforms or their badge numbers, because I believe that you cannot have any public safety without public trust. And so I definitely think that that money that's used for ICE, we need to get that money back. And right now, as we try to figure out this healthcare debacle, we need to use that money and actually put it towards healthcare and extending those ACA subsidies, right? And so we don't need them.
Outstanding.
There you go.
Outstanding.
I mean, I don't understand why that's so hard for some people to say, right? Do we need a path? But I also believe that we do need a comprehensive yet compassionate pathway to citizenship. And so, I don't understand why folks have not leaned into actually trying to make that work. Actually, I do know, right?
What?
Because
Yeah.
for too long, people have exploited undocumented workers.
Mhm.
And let's be clear, I'm trying to figure out why all these undocumented immigrants are getting deported, but none of these big companies, nobody ain't went to jail yet. Like, can
Right.
somebody
Exactly.
walk me through that? Because again, it's all about the bottom, the bottom line and money. And so if they really cared about stopping illegal immigration, right? Some corporate execs would be in jail right now.
Because it's never been about, the legal process. It's been about providing a serf class to labor at a price point beneath what an American laborer will do, and to have a labor class that are effectively disposable. That
Yep.
no matter what abuses they rain down, how poorly they're treated, how poorly they're paid, they have no legal repercussion. They have no way to sue. They have no way to, if they alert authorities, the business just has them deported. There was a news story a couple weeks back about a contractor who was basically would hire on people who did not have papers to be here. And then when the jobs would get done, he'd call ICE. They wouldn't pay him.
Wow.
I have had to help folks that wage stuff is a big thing. Wage stuff is a big thing for U.S. citizens, and it's definitely a big thing for undocumented people. But again, like I said, these company owners, these execs, right? They need to go to jail too. They're the ones who really breaking the law.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Not to mention they're ones that basically are creating the money baseline for the ecosystem, this kind of shadow economy of labor that goes on. I mean, without them, it doesn't happen. It's there's nothing to feed that then.
Right.
But
I
have that.
Yeah. I have so there is a kind of a sociological debate, or even I guess we can just name it a political debate. How to best approach this fascist regime that's coming. On one side of the Democratic Party, there's this need to say, well, every single thing we do, we've got to try to help the most people as possible. If we can work with the other side to get this thing done, then we should do it. So we're going to go for instance, the latest thing is the cameras, the unmasking, and American name tags on for ICE people, and then we can give you money for it. Then there's another side that says, when you've gone this far, everything is a no. And whatever money you want, it's no. Whatever win you can get, because there is nothing more salvageable in your ridiculous, drained party to help with. We have to fight at all costs to ensure that everything is gummed up, and anything you want to do takes as long as possible until we get other people in there to get rid of you and impeach every last one of you. I see the call on both sides. I see the validity of both sides. Where do you stand on that, especially if you're going to be in the Senate that still may not be a majority Democrat when you get there? Where do you fall on those
Right.
perspectives?
So I think it's really important to know that, like, I care about people, and I'm always going to put people at the forefront of whatever policies and initiatives or votes that I take, right? But I think it's also important to know that the folks that are in power right now are not good faith actors. They are not acting in good faith. They are not adversaries. They are trying to do the most harm. And so we have to, as a Democratic Party, we have to have a backbone, and we have to, at some points, like, not be willing to compromise on certain things. Like, there are people that are going to die right now because they cannot afford their health care. There are people that are going to die. There are people that have died because the ACA subsidies were not extended. And so I don't want blood on my hands. There are people that were shot and killed, like, they shot and killed people in the streets, like ICE did, the Border Patrol, whatever, DHS, right? Like, there are people, like, we are seeing a rise in anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. Here in the state of Florida, they are trying to categorize anybody that basically dissents pretty much almost as a terroristic organization. Like, these are life or death things, and we need to send people who are going up to DC who are going to hold the line for hardworking people. We have tried that moderate way, right? And so let's be clear, like, you do work to compromise, right? But, like, where has this gotten us right now in regards to continually pandering to the other side in power right now? We're pandering to these greedy billionaires and these corrupt politicians and corporations. Why can't we look out for hardworking people? Why can't we look out for people who, if they don't feel like working 40 hours a week, right? Like, they're trying to tell them they're not going to have a job. Like, I want to look out for those people. I'm tired of us giving Republicans in charge who are only looking out for the 1% like a pass. But when I want to look out for hardworking people and people who barely scrape and buy, like, it's a problem. Absolutely. I am going to Washington, D.C. because it's time to change things up a lot. And I'm not going to compromise on that. I am not, because I am tired of people dying because they don't have the resources that they need, right? I am tired of seeing veterans strung out on drugs because they can't get into the VA because it's so backed up, because it's underfunded. I got a problem with that. And so I am not willing to compromise on this any longer.
Well said.
Thank you. Well said. Well said.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. That's all, folks. Yeah.
And I think I want to also point out, I'm sorry, because I am an organizer, right?
Go ahead.
Like, elected officials can't do it alone, right? Like, I have so many people that they would speak out more if they felt like folks had their backs, like the community held people accountable and really spoke about it, right? But also I understand like a lot of members in the community are like, well, y'all don't have our backs, y'all not standing firm. So it's like it's a little dance, right? But it's like, we need you all, right? And no one elected official is going to save everyone, but we can all do it together. And so I need you all to like hold people accountable, hold these elected officials accountable, demand that they have town hall meetings. The fact that there were so many Republicans that refused to hold town hall meetings, and I believe there was like a memo that came out where they were telling some of the Republicans don't do certain things, like don't go meet with certain constituents and that type of stuff. Like, that is crazy to me. At the end of the day, we as elected officials, we work for y'all. Like, I don't know about some of them other people, but I want to do a good job because I don't want to get fired, right? Like, and so we as community members, as constituents, need to realize that we hold the power, and so like, hold us accountable, y'all, like for real. And things can actually change, and we can't keep buying into all of these lies and this blatant disinformation that they keep spreading, right? We can actually change this country for the better, but we all have to lean in and do our part. You know, again, like I stated earlier, I am running as an anti-establishment candidate, and I need folks' help. And so, like, no, if no one donates to me, I ain't gonna be able to win. So, and we got payment plans. I realize that I'm running a people power campaign. And so I'm asking people, like, donate to me, and don't forego your, don't get that latte for twice a week. Like, send that over to me so we can make sure we're spreading our message, right? Like, y'all know what we're up against. We're up against these greedy people. And so folks should go to angienixon.com and become a recurring donor. I know that based on my experience, right? And if you look at my track record, I will show you that I will never waver. I don't waver. Sometimes I evolve, but always for the better. But I am only beholden to hardworking people. I know what it's like to struggle, but I also know what it's like to have hope, right? Like, as a direct descendant of people who were stolen from their country and stripped of their native tongue, threatened to be killed if they learn to read, banned from their religion, right? Like, I am a testament that when we have the discipline of hope and when we cling to the idea of hope, that change can actually happen. You know, I'm my ancestors' wildest dreams. We all are. And so we can do this, but we need accomplices, right? We don't just need allies. We need accomplices in this fight. And so my people were only able to get free because there were folks who didn't look like them that were willing to put their life on the line and help, get them through the Underground Railroad and hide them out in different places and that type of stuff. And also who started being vocal abolitionists, right? And so if you allow a lie to be told over and over and over again, people start to believe that's true. And so we cannot just put our heads down in the sand, right? Like, I would suggest people get the book on tyranny, right? By Professor Snyder, right? Like, we cannot freely give away our power. And that's what's happening right now. And so we are allowing this guy to go unchecked. Like, I'm just tripping at how so many of these law firms started giving him pro bono services and that type of stuff. Like, why are you doing this? And you know this man is defying the courts. You know he is not, he's violating the Constitution. Like, have a backbone. Like, we are in this together.
Turns out a lot of those people in some of those law firms that we weren't thinking about are also in the Epstein files, and now we kind of understand why they had a little bit.
Hey,
that's all I'm saying.
Too. That's crazy. Like, why are we why are we hiding pedophiles? Like, why are we looking out for pedophiles? Like, that is absolutely crazy to me.
We seem to be hiding because so many of them are in the Trump administration. So, what was it, 37 of them at last count?
That is
Weird coincidence that he just happens to surround himself with all these people with this one hobby in common.
Huh. Oh man. Well, yeah. Big Sarge, I'm gonna let you finish it out. I might have to leave a little bit in a little bit. I've stretched it as far as I can because I absolutely wanted to speak to Angie Nixon here, and man, I got my cup runneth over, Angie.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Drill Sergeant.
Always a pleasure. Admin Doug.
All righty. Y'all have the day you deserve.
That means mine is gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We'll talk some more. Nice meeting you, and good luck on your campaign. Everybody, go give her some
Thank
money,
you.
man. Dang.
Yep, and
if you're in
Angie's
Florida,
website
volunteer your
is
time.
linked below for anyone who might want to read more about her or can pitch in a few bucks to help her out.
For sure. And you don't have to just be in Florida to donate or to volunteer. We have virtual phone banks. We want to make sure folks are actually sharing our information, letting people know that I am actually in this race. As I said, I am running anti-establishment. I am running for the people. I come from the people. I am a former union organizer, a union member. I'm a small business owner. I come from movement. I'm a community organizer. And I just think we deserve so much more than what we've been getting here in our country. And I plan on fighting to get that, but also leading with compassion and ethics.
I love it. I wish I could vote for you. Like I would go down there and do illegal things. Was that my out loud voice?
Same here, but I've got to stay here and vote against Fetterman.
I think that's a convenient place to wrap it up. I know we've kept you well over an hour, going on an hour and a half, and looks like you still got to be somewhere else, i.e. not in your car.
And we do appreciate your time. We really do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Uh-oh.
We've lost already?
Yeah. Was it something I said?
Probably. Usually is. Yeah. For being honest.
Oh, she's back.
There we go. Thought we lost you.
Yeah. I was like, was it something I said?
No.
I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Angie, thank you so much for giving us your time tonight. We really appreciate hearing from you. I'm excited for your campaign, for you to be the next senator from the state of Florida, and all the awesome things you can do.
Thank you, Sarge. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Drill Sergeant. Thank you, all the viewers of Sons of Liberty. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. As I stated earlier, I am outside of a rally here in Tallahassee. I wanted to make sure I show my face here. But again, I just want folks to know that we actually can build a new vision for our country, one where everyone can actually be able to get the true American dream. And so I am a fighter. I know I can win. We have a path to victory. I have unseated incumbents before. I am able to cross over and have crossover appeal because I have always stood up and stood on the right side of history. And I really want to be y'all's next U.S. Senator because I love this country and I know what it can become. And so I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to be on your show and to be on your platform. Please, folks, let folks know that I am running. If you can't donate, volunteer. If you can't volunteer, share everything. I'm Angie for Florida. Share who I am. Let people know they should support me. If you got friends that got money, tell them to donate, like all the things. But I am really looking forward to us changing this country for the better. And I believe that we will win.
Absolutely. And thank you so
Me
much
too.
for being here.
Thank you.
That's gonna be our show for tonight. Angie Nixon, everybody. 2 claps
Bye.
and a Rick.
Woo!
Woo! Can we try that again? Can we try that again? Can we do that one more time? Can we try it again? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know how it goes. Lead us off.
Yes. No, you do it. Start it. I want to do the woo with y'all.
All right.
All right.
Sarge.
One more time. We're gonna do 2 claps and a Rick. One more time.
Woo!
Woo! Good night, y'all. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.